Hello, we're here to chat to you about powers of curriculum. I'm Dr. Brad Gobby.
And I'm Dr. Rebecca Walker, and we're from Curtin University.
And we're editors of Powers of Curriculum. The book is divided into three parts. The first part introduces you to curriculum. The second part introduces you to ways of thinking about the issues in curriculum. And the third part is about enacting curriculum in educational settings.
That's right, and I think it's really important that we start off by saying what we think curriculum is, because I certainly know as a pre-service teacher I actually thought curriculum was just a fixed document with a series of outcomes that I used almost as a checklist when teaching.
Yes, so one of the important perspectives of this book is to conceptualise curriculum as the entirety of a child's or a learner's experience in an educational setting. So it's just not about the content that we teach. It takes into account all of the factors, all of the things that an educator can do or does do to shape the experiences of learners in a learning setting.
And I think that's great because the book actually covers early childhood education, primary education and secondary education, because these are common issues and experiences that we have, and we really position it in terms of think about what's occurring for the student and think about what's occurring for you as the teacher.
Yes, so to develop that idea, a lot of the things that we talk about cut across all of the phases of schooling. And that is because educational institutions, whether schools or preschools, they're not divorced from the wider social, political, cultural and economic context. In fact, much of what happens in education is shaped by this wider context. So it's important for educators to be aware of that wider context, to be given the concepts, the conceptual tools in order to interpret and understand what's happening at that wider level, in order to understand how it's impacting on what's happening in their specific educational setting. So the goal is not only to interpret and to understand what's happening much more broadly, but to see how this applies to their educational setting and how they can change their practice in order to make the student the centre of their practices.
I certainly wish I had some of this understanding before I embarked on teaching, because I think I would have made a lot more informed decisions right from the beginning.
Yes, so the idea is, I guess, to give people the critical thinking skills, the capacity to think about education critically, to think about these concepts and what's happening in education from a critical perspective.
That's right.
Yes. Now the book has a number of features that we have included in order to help you comprehend the ideas and the concepts and perspectives in the book. So one of the key features is the theory into practice sections. These are case studies, and in the case studies there are also some investigations. They highlight the way in which the concepts you are learning about surface in the real world. And so you're encouraged to apply the concepts and ideas into real world examples.
Yeah, and I think another key feature is the ask yourself, and that is points at which to stop whilst reading the chapter and reflect. So it might ask you about your personal experiences to do with the concepts that you're reading about. It might ask you to say how you might apply it in your teaching, or it might ask you to say how are you understanding this particular concept or theory.
That's right. And at the end of each chapter we have questions, activities and internet search terms in order to help you deepen your understanding of the concepts, the ideas and the perspectives in the book. Now I think we'd like to take this time to thank our contributors to the book. There are many of those and they bring a deep wealth of expertise to their writing of the chapters.
That's right. Thank you so much, and we really hope that you enjoy reading this text, you find it thought-provoking and engaging.
Thank you.
Thank you.